Trustee Walton,
Present.
trustee Harrison,
Here.
trustee Ivy,
Present.
trustee Hanley,
Present.
trustee Wentworth,
Present.
trustee Hill,
Here.
Chair Robinson.
Present.
We have enough for them to conduct the chair.
First order of business is, the agenda. We need to make some amendments to the agenda. Things that's not on the agenda is we got to vote for the board, recommendation of the CDBG money to be for the streets. Vote on the MML conference attendees. Vote for the ratification of purchase of mines, and vote for city attorney. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda with the amendments? If you raise your hand, Ms. Ivy, make a motion.
Yes, I make a motion.
Motion made by trustee Ivy.
Yes.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Then motion and second, the approval of the agenda. Do I have any names for the approval of the agenda? Ayes, that all approve?
Aye.
The agenda have been approved. We're at the point of the meeting for residents' comments virtually. If we have any residents that will make comments, please make comments online. Do not text any of the commissioners. Do not text the city clerk, because we can't reply. We have a young lady here that when the comments come about. Do you have any at this moment? We have no comments. So with this being a virtual meeting, we're limited to the number of people that can attend the meeting. And next thing on the agenda is neighborhood watch. We don't have any neighborhood watch people here unless neighborhood watch person is watching and made a comment. So I believe they did. Next thing on the agenda will be approval of the June 25th, 2020 board. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the June 25th, 2020 board meeting? I have made the motion. Can I get a second?
I second it, yes.
As I make point of information, Chair, we also need to approve the June 25th budget hearing. I apologize.
All right. So we got a motion and a second to approve the minutes for the June 25th, 2020 board meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the budget hearing, the budget meeting for 2020?
I'm motion.
As I made the motion, can I get a second?
I second it.
And my motion and second to approve the minutes of the budget meeting.
Yeah.
Please, why?
Does he want them?
Okay. We need to we need to vote on the roll call vote for the minutes approval. We'll take the call this or aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. This time at the board meeting, we will be voting on filling the vacancy, empty commissioner seat. We have 3 candidates. We have a folder. Please take about 30 seconds to look them over. You have Mr. Jimmy Williams. You have Claude Harris. And we have Mr. Terren Greer. So what I'll do is I'll read off each name. and you raise your hand for whoever you want to vote for. First name is, raise your hand if you would like to vote for Jimmy Williams. We got,
Keep them up so I can count. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
next candidate, Claude Harris. Raise your hand if you would like to vote for Claude Harris. Next person candidate we have is Mr. Terang Greer. Raise your hand if you want to vote for Terang Greer. Okay, so our first name was Mr. Jimmy Williams. He had 5 votes. Our second, Claude William Harris, he had 1. And Mr. Terang Greer had 3. So it looks like our commissioner seat will be Mr. Jimmy Williams. Okay, we'll go into the trustees report. Let's go with the treasurer.
Okay. So I have just the one page. If everybody can just pull that up really fast. But this is just talking about the report from June 1st through the 30th. And it tells us what Hanley Hill started with. If you look at the total. So I've just pulled up general funds and the capital funds. So we started with 917,000 from the revenue for both of those sections. Then that added up to the 58,000. Then the deductions for both of those categories, you had 286,087 if you round up. So after all those deductions, we went from 917 all the way down to 688. And that's just for the month of June. So once I saw that and everybody's reports on how we all wanted to help Hanley Hill save money and to do particular things, but saving the money and doing those things. Am I correct?
Yes.
So that's why I was like, okay. So from 9 to 6. And I'm sure everything was, I'm sorry, is the dates right? It should be. From June the 1st.
To June 30th, we spent 286,000.
Yes, ma'am. Now, the big drop was a good drop, though. That was for the streets. I wish I had that number, but I don't have that. So that's why the dramatic drop, I think. So, but with everybody's input, you guys are still doing the streets plan, or we're doing more streets. So that probably will drop a little bit more, but not as dramatic as it has dropped. So I just want to make 3 motions, if I could, really fast, after seeing that really simple report. I want to make a motion to pay all these bills now for the month of June. So, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, July. I'm sorry about that, July. So I have this stack here. We want to sign today. I have a second. Do I have, like, everybody saying yes? I know, that's what I'm saying, I have that. So yeah, we're gonna pay that, right? Everybody saying yes?
Motion has been made and been seconded.
Yay. And then can I make a second motion?
Yeah.
Okay, can we vote on? I'm anxious to
Everybody in
say.
favor of paying the monthly, the bills for July, can I get an aye?
Aye.
Any nays? Bills will be paid.
Can I make a second motion?
All right, here, floor is still yours.
So there was a petty cash, well, there is a petty cash, but it's not really being used and it's only $100. We want to move that 100 into, general funds, just for the account for Hanley Hills.
So that is an
So
account, we
motion
want to
to-
eliminate that account.
Yes, please.
Motion has been made. Can I get a second?
I second.
Motion has been made, motion has been second. Everybody that's in agreement, can I get aye? Any
Aye.
nays? Motion has been moved.
My last motion.
Trustee Ewing.
I would like to make a motion that we do support the ideas that are given to the table, but not to do that over. If you want to change anything, it could be changed in a meeting, face to face with everybody in it, and everybody's still going to say, yeah. But I motion that we never do that again over the phone. That's something that lawyers frown on. That would be bad for an audit, and it makes anybody feel uncomfortable when they have to change their vote or whatever. So I motion never to do that again.
Excuse me, I didn't hear what you stated.
Say
Yeah,
it. I'm sorry.
I motion that business over the phone,
Come on, via text.
or like
Okay.
either talking over the phone, text or talking, no business over the phone. Let me say it again. Let me say it a different way.
Order,
So
order,
if-
order.
Okay,
Floor is yours. Go ahead.
so if something was already voted on in a meeting and we all agreed to back that idea up, the person decided they needed to change it or they needed more assistance with it or whatever the change was.
So,
So if it's something that's a matter of an emergency or maybe not
Yes.
emergency,
let's.
what should we do?
Let's amend that
Yeah.
to, if that comes about, we have to have an emergency meeting that day or as soon as possible.
Yes, that emergency meeting, but not over the phone. You don't agree with that?
Turn your hands up.
Point
that-
of order, point of information, if people don't mind me saying this. Both attorneys, past and present, who has cautioned us against a phone votes. Unless it is an absolute emergency. And it is
Y'all already know
recommended
not to do that over the phone.
And now, there's been two city attorneys who have said that, the past city attorney and the previous one of Attorney Anthony Gray, and also Attorney Paul Martin. They were not in favor of doing phone votes regarding the business of Hanley Hill. The former city attorney Anthony Gray mentioned it a couple of times, because you still have to come to the board to ratify it. And there have been times, because I've been where you've done a phone vote, and then you come to the board to ratify, and the vote is different, because people will change it. Now, when it comes to financial matters, we kind of have to pay it, because we agreed to it, and the vendor is obligated and so forth. So I just wanted to say that, don't mean any harm, but that is part of my duty to say that in reference to a meeting.
Ms. White, you wanted the floor?
Well, excuse me, I just remembered when the tree fell on somebody's car, and that we needed to take care of that. You can't wait a day or two later, that's something that's to be done right now. Or blocking the street, that's something what our work department is not capable of doing, cuts outside help. That needs to be taken care of because of the safety of the pedestrians as well, and driving around. So that's something different. So I guess if you want to ratify part of that, an extreme emergency, maybe,
Yes,
that was speak on that.
Yes, ma'am.
I just can't see you saying never.
Motion,
Situation.
so your motion has been amended to extreme emergencies would be the only thing that we'll vote for over the phone. Is that okay with you? Ms.
I
Treasurer?
just,
Listen, you
Hanley Hills, if there's an audit, there's a change. Now, what you're saying, that's not a change being made. That's an emergency.
right, that's
It's not.
a true emergency.
But a change that's been made.
On the amount?
Yeah, cause, yes,
So what do you want your motion?
I don't know, not
Then
that,
we do not vote on over any payments over the phone,
correct.
only in dire emergencies of financial need. We'll make a vote. Everybody understand that?
Now, repeat the motion, Chair.
Motion is, we will not take any vote over the phone for any purchases.
Mhm.
The only thing that will be voted for over the phone is dire emergencies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And myself as chair right now, I will determine whether the dire emergency will be. Motion, can I get a second on that motion?
What did you say? What did you say?
I said-
Unless it's a dire emergency.
A dire emergency, and I will call as the chair. What will be the dire emergency? Motion has been made, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Side has seconded the motion. All in favor, can I get an aye? Any nays?
Man.
The ayes have it. The motion has been made. The floor is still yours, Treasurer.
I'm done.
Thank you, Mrs. Treasurer. Public Works, the floor belongs to you.
Good evening. We were able to get the brush pile cut up. Thanks, Matthew. They did come there and chip all that brush, and it's looking like it was looking before all that crap was down there. So thank you much. Thing of wood chips. Okay. Yeah. So thank you for that. And we have been cutting trees out of the so-called Hanley Hills trees. We've been cutting the tree limbs down. I want to thank Kevin. Kevin's been helping the maintenance department, and really appreciate Kevin. And the maintenance guys, Ozzy and Bryant, and I came on the latter part and did some help. So, and we got a lot more of low limbs that we need that needs to be cut. And I did talk to the chairman about purchasing something, but you know, due to the fact that we're watching our money, we're just going to do, if we needed to rent a piece of equipment, we'll rent that, and we'll get together with Mr. Kevin and our maintenance guys, and we'll see what we can do with those trees over on Underhill. And we also been cutting the vacant houses. This board on Stillwater called me, and again, Kevin, thank you, sir, again, and Ozzy and Brian, and like I say myself, I went over and got the latter part of it, and she really appreciated it. It was a resident that was surrounded by vacant house that the grass hasn't been cut probably this year and part of last year. And so thankful for that. And then the streets, the patchwork that was done on Utica and Alert wasn't us. It wasn't us. So all the complaints that I got, it wasn't us. It was, I guess, the water company. They came and did a patch job underneath it, and they just threw cold patch on that because they were coming back, and it did look like they just threw it in there, which they did. They just threw it in there.
So is that something that we should be, or
No.
will they be back?
No,
Yes,
we ain't
ma'am.
doing nothing.
Okay,
No, ma'am.
okay.
No, ma'am. That's like this. I say it like that, maybe, but they did leave it kind of, you know.
Right.
But they do that when they know they're going to come back because they're not finished with the job.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's really all I have to say. my report.
Any questions for Chairman Jeff?
Chairman.
I'm sorry, trustee Jeff. No question? I'm sorry. Let's move on to the building building report.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Been driving through Hanley Hills and seeing a whole lot of houses that have problems. We're going to be sending out some violations in the mail. So,
All right, anybody got any questions for the building commissioner?
Just, thanks, Kevin, been, they like we all doing work. I know we all busy, work, but, for Kevin to help to make this guy on his own time, I just really appreciate that. So Kevin, I just want to say thank you, sir.
thank you.
I know you're gonna continue to do it.
It's on the spot.
Thank you.
Streets commissioner, floor belongs to you.
Well, I haven't had any report. I mean, I've had just one complaint about up on the, I think the 9,900 block of Madison, just those potholes up there or whatever. But other than that, I haven't had any complaints on the street department, which to me is kind of funny. Since the streets got done, but it's more streets than me that are in dire need, and I'm just surprised I haven't received any more calls. And from what I wrote through and seen, I've seen problems, but it's problems that are not urgent as they were. So any cold patch that was done on Madison, I haven't heard any complaints about it. And I know we still have work to be done, and we're working on it still. And just enjoy our new streets. That's all I can say.
All right.
Ms. Eisen, I encourage you to keep looking. I mean, like I say, if we have to pull the money for you to get some stuff done, we as a board, it's a must, and we will.
Well, I also wanted to see what we could get done with the GBC grant first, for the streets first, just to see what we can get out of that first, and then go into the funds that we have here. So with everything that's going on, you know, we can work with grant funding and see what we can.
Did we approve a specific spot for that grant?
Let me, if I can interject, according to Mitch Marcoux, who is our CDBG specialist, we have money coming from a previous grant that we did for streets.
Okay.
That's supposed to be coming this fall. Unfortunately, it's government, and government is slow. But you have money coming from the last year's CDBG grant for streets. And I think, Chair, if you are in agreement, this might be a time for you to vote on the present application, because the board did recommend that this particular current application be for streets, and we need a vote for that. I know you already voted on the minutes for the hearing, but we need to vote on the fact that we don't want to use the money for streets.
And I did want to say that with Dusky being done, I would really like to see Racine looking the same way as Dusky, because that's the entrance into our village this way, and also on Alert. That's
Right,
another
you did
entrance.
listen.
So I really would like to see Racine done, but like I said, we'll have to get into that after we see how much money there is.
Okay.
You want to make that motion, that this previous money we use for, what is it?
With the current application, we use the streets, we have recommended it in the minutes, so we just want to vote on it.
Make that motion,
I don't think.
I need a second on that motion. Rashawn, second. All in favor of using that money for streets, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes has it.
Thank you, board.
That completes your report, Mrs. Ivy?
That will complete my report.
Thank you. We're going to the health commissioner.
I do my things a little bit differently. Instead of sending people letters at first, I like to make personal visits. So I have visited 24 homes to see what their problem is, why their property is not kept up neat and clean, why the trash cans are put away. And them that notice and giving them my card. So if they have a problem, they're too old, too sick, they can call me or whatever, and we'll take care of the trash. I'll get somebody to help them with their trash and garbage. I have one house that I really have a concern about, and it's around the corner on Alert. Yeah, I think that's let's see. Yeah, on this side of the village. The cards, all the cards have 2015, 2014, 2011 stickers on the car. The tires, 3 of them, including the truck, is flat. The house, look to me, this is my personal opinion, looks dead. And it's no kind of movement. And it's been like that since I've taken notice the past 2 to 3 weeks. So it's in the morning and in the evening and at night, structure the face like they haven't moved. The shades haven't been lifted. So I would like somebody to see if there's anybody deceased in that house or not. I don't know. But it seemed like me, if somebody was there, a car would be moved or the tires would be going a different way or something. There's really no movement and nothing else to say. The grass and nothing has been kept up, period.
Give the exact address.
I have it here for you. I will give it to anybody that
I don't think the alert house is talking about to get the correct address. And we'll call,
I have the correct address.
call St. Louis County to do a welfare check.
I have, thank you. I'll leave it to whoever wants to do that. So it doesn't, like, you know about this?
Yes, ma'am. If you can write that address down, and I can give it, we may already.
I may have it, it's already, it's one of my concerns.
Can we say that address? No.
Okay.
Say that.
I'll give them a
We can.
What's the address?
You can give me the address if you like.
Okay, I can give it to you yesterday.
Okay, just give me the exact address.
And I will
I'll
take
pass it
everybody
along.
here. Okay. Okay, what else I want to tell you about the, I would give people the warnings first. I go back in 2 weeks to see if things can be done, but I give them 2 weeks. I know everybody don't get money every week or every 2 weeks, maybe just once a month. And so I give them enough time. So on my next trip around, I will have more names that I may have to turn in. But other than that, that's a good report. That's what I've done. Most of the trash cans and things are okay. Those that are still packed and have not been moved as of starting tomorrow, they will get a sticker on their trash. And I also have warning tickets. So, Ms. Garvey, if I called in here and said that they got a ticket on their car or for, and want to know what it's about, I'm putting the tickets on. And it says warning. And it's an official Hanley Hills summons thing. Of course, that's the next thing will be to the police and whomever. That's just the way that I work. I have nothing else to say unless y'all have questions for me.
Ms. White, concerning the trash can, since, you say you're gonna ticket if they don't put the trash cans up.
I did not say that.
I'm sorry.
No, we have this big card, this yellow and blue.
Yes, ma'am.
They have not moved their trash. By the second day, they would get that one. If the trash is not emptied at all and it's falling all over the place,
Right.
I will put a warning ticket on that. That's what they'll get.
If the trash is,
Yes, sir. I mean,
Why do they have
it's
to get a warning?
stacked up, so, and you know, it's been more than 1 week.
yes,
So apparently, if they have haven't paid the head trash services.
Yes,
We need to find that out.
Yeah.
And I know they've stopped doing that, but since everybody else is opening doors and giving folks tickets, maybe August the 1st starting, then we can get a letter from Waste Management of who does or doesn't have services.
Okay, that's fine, that's why, I was just, as I explained to you, Waste Management, other utilities had done, Waste Management, RMUE, AT&T, all the utilities, because of COVID-19, until the end of this month, I believe,
That's right.
had given people breaks on their bills. And so, Waste Management had not sent cut-off lists for that reason. They don't mind doing it after the end of this month, but they had ceased to do it, trying to be
And I'm trying
Trying to
to
be, you know,
anything,
give people,
trying to give anybody anything until August, because I just think it's fair. And especially because there's another stimulus check. Okay, thank you. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Okay, our next commissioner will be Parks and Tree. The floor belongs to you, Mr. Hill.
The tree work at the garage is complete. The tree limbs were rounded up and mulched for the purpose of putting around tree limbs in the community. Hauling everything away was going to be a bit pricey, so I felt this would be a less expensive thing to do. And also, I got a complete tree on Titus that is dead and needs to be cut. I recently had a proposal to have the tree cut, but misplaced it. When I get the proposal, the board will approve to have the tree cut. And also, as far as my budget, I will need to talk to, I guess, Ms. Ewing, because this tree definitely needs to be cut. I had a proposal done, the tree is totally dead. So I don't know what my budget is or what do I have. So I guess I'll just get with you and find out, because, I mean, I don't know if it's an emergency, but the tree is dead. Nothing's broken. I mean, the tree is totally dead. So, you know, I guess I can just get with you and find out, or just get the proposal to find out if I have some money in my budget to have the tree done.
Matt,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say a stupid question, but is it a big tree, medium-sized tree,
It's a
or
tall tree.
it's a big tree?
Well, it's not like one of the big trees. It's a nice sized tree and it's tall, and the total tree is dead.
It's dead.
It's dead. It's been dead for a long time.
I wonder if the tree ordinance had that on his list.
That's a good question.
We need to check on that.
Yeah.
We need to check on it.
Check
on that.
You said Titus, what was the address? Or?
I don't know the address.
Oh, okay.
I know, I get the address, Jeff, it's on Titus.
One of you guys check on that, to see if that should have been a tree that was taken care of.
Kevin, okay.
800 block on Titus, maybe?
Yep,
I have it here in my book too.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the address?
Okay.
did you see Ms. White?
41.
Ms. White, that tree dead.
Yeah, 40.
And Ms. White, that's it.
I'm gonna give you a task, Dean.
What's up?
I'm gonna give you the task to go back, work with Ms. Dorothy to find the minutes, and to get that list and see what's that true on that list,
Okay.
so we can question Doug Silly, why did he get taken care of?
Okay.
Instead of you trying to do the poll.
Okay.
Hold on, Ms. White, Ms. Ida,
Is the mulch down at the garage, is that for the city of Hanley Hills, or is it just for
That's a good question.
citizens can come?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, it's free for everybody.
Okay.
What we normally do, Ms. Line, we normally do that over here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got a lot
So
of
if you go down, you're gonna get your card.
them in my backyard.
So we will.
I will get my car water.
Dirty.
Dirty, yeah, I say dirty now.
How did you get it?
Well,
Yeah.
Anybody got any more questions on that?
I want to say another thing. We don't want nobody in down there anyway.
Yeah.
And all that stuff all over. Like somebody been tripped and fell
Yes,
over
sir,
some of the
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's down there.
So that's why we're gonna bring,
Right.
Lowe here,
I'm
Kevin.
gonna talk to the talk.
Take trash cans in. I would be.
Okay. That's fine.
And use a couple girls guy
They
too.
have to ask you to.
Use a couple girls guy too. They say he don't do nothing on that day. This is your report, Mr. Hill.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, for Mr. Hill or Public Works too.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, for Mr. Hill or Public Works too. Are you all still going around picking up branches from the yard in front of our trees? We still doing that?
Yes.
I just asked, are we
Yes, yeah,
still doing
I
it?
seen Ozzy today riding around picking up branches that fell out of trees and.
Well, I'm talking about branches, what's the next step, branch? Limbs.
Yeah, big old.
I have
Okay,
seen
because
Ozzy
they're
picking
there
up.
and been there and, yeah, I just wanted to know, so
Yes,
when I
ma'am.
see them again and they're still there.
Well, let me say, now, if it's way up in the yard, Ms. White?
No, I already know about the baby.
Okay, okay, okay.
I said.
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
line,
Okay, yeah.
I treat
And
them.
we will help out, if people have trouble moving them, if some people don't have soles.
Get your,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
get your, Ms. White,
Yes,
get your list together, give it to the public works.
I'm
Let me speak.
Oh, okay.
give it to the public works guy. I mean, with limbs and stuff like that, give it to him so Ozzy can know, Ozzy can go back and get it. You know, that ain't something that's small compared to what we should be doing.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
pretty sure Ozzy can drive back, because I've been with him, and he stopped and he picked up limbs. I'm like, what are you stopping for, Ozzy? He get out the truck, he pick up a limb.
I see
Pick up trash.
that too.
So get that list on, we move on with that.
Because we can all go around and miss something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's for everybody.
And normally, really, when limbs really gets down is when that trash truck come and
Oh,
really
yeah.
take
Or after a storm.
after
Yeah,
the storm,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
ma'am, yeah,
So
so,
you
yeah.
give the owners time to clean up their own stuff. But we know we have senior citizens that can't clean stuff up. That's what our public works do. They don't need, sometimes it's not me to give a ticket. We'll give public works guy, take care of it. They complete your report, Mr. Hill.
Yes.
Public relations, the floor belongs to you.
Good evening. All the PPE supplies are in. We have some volunteers that agreed to help with the assembly of in plastic storage bags. We're gonna put the mask, gloves, and hand sanitizer in there. We will meet on Thursday in the boardroom, and we will utilize the utmost safety protocols with each other and volunteers. Meade County Fire Protection District will once again drive through our village with sirens blaring to help us announce that the PPE giveaway and food giveaway. Chief Mahoney discussed how they can safely do this without jeopardy to anyone, and they are confident that they can do it safely. They are very excited to come and support our village. They will arrive at 10 a.m. and start the parade. If we can have at least 2 cars to drive with them, with posters and, with the announcement of the PPEs at City Hall, that would be great. That would be a help for the parade. And I have had several boxes of food donated by Mr. Friend for our community, and I'm in touch with Beyond Housing, also seeking donations for food for our food giveaway. They will also bring diapers for babies and female necessities for the ladies. We received a food donation from Miss Sadie Pendleton. I want to say thank you to that for her. Yesterday, July 15th, I received an email from Hanley from Beyond Housing asking if we would consider being a distribution site for the Department of Health for St. Louis County. They want to find sites throughout the county where they can distribute masks to the communities and surrounding communities. So I was hoping we could discuss it.
Weren't we giving out masks and all that stuff too? Weren't we doing that as,
We're doing that
Hanley
as a
Hills
one-time,
community.
well, two-time event if we have some left over. But they're saying they want to establish like a distribution, because they have come to the conclusion that the mask and social distancing may be able to help turn this around. So they want to establish places throughout St. Louis County where people can freely come and pick up masks.
So would it be they give us some?
They would
come
they
to the
would
city
supply
hall
the
to
masks.
get, or would it be a specific day that they would be here?
Well, they will supply the masks, I know. And they said if I have a yes that we would do it, then I can call and get the details information.
They give you dates?
No, I haven't board if we would want to do this for our community as well as surrounding communities. Do we want to be a distribution site for masks for St. Louis County?
where would the distribution, where would it take place? Would we have, someone outside? That's, because who would we have to conduct that? Would they do it, or would it be up to our village to pick someone to be here to do it?
Well, I will get details when I call them, but right now we can yay or nay if we want to participate. If we have to use personnel to man it, then I would assume we can't do that. But if they supply somebody to come and distribute them, then that's possible.
I think that'll be some worth looking into.
Even if they don't, I'm willing to volunteer my time.
Oh.
Anyway,
Okay,
any way I can. You know, it's about the community at the end of the day.
it is.
That being safe, actually,
You know,
because a lot of people cannot afford masks. And now it's mandatory. That when you go into these businesses, no mask, you can't come in.
yeah, but I look at it like this too. A lot of people don't, because I feel like this, you know, even some people, if you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. But
Right.
at least, I always say, God give us 5 cents and we have to use them. So I just look at it trying to help somebody, they don't have a mask, it's gonna be,
Right.
you know, so, as a community, we gotta start somewhere, so we gotta.
I think it would be a great idea, Mrs. Harrison, for you to look into it and bring back further information.
Oh,
Let us know how it would work.
yeah, I will
I'll
get
make it
details.
better.
Ms. White, did you have a question for Mrs. Harrison? Mrs. White, do you have a question for Mrs. Harrison?
No, it seems as if that's a health thing, but, no, where it's gonna be located, whom people driving can come and get them, or do we need to confine, and once you go to doctors, this is somebody taking them, they still need to have masks on too, so. Yeah,
Everybody,
that's-
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
We look at
I don't mind helping them doing that.
you look at it like this. Look at it like this. It's a good idea because that's the direction we're going in.
Mhm.
And you think about Ms. Harrison has purchased masks and gloves and sanitizer for the village to give out to the residents.
Right.
So, and pretty sure
They come
what-
and get it.
whatever she has left over after the second one we have, I'm pretty sure we're gonna make it available at the city hall for residents to come up when they run out.
And this isn't just about the residents, didn't they say
Yeah,
a distribution
yeah.
center for the county?
And I'm just saying this because
Right.
that's what Ms.
Right.
Harrison is doing for our neighborhood. So we broaden our horizon.
Yeah. I
Let's
think
go for it.
and during a pandemic, I think it's a great thing
The more
to
help,
do
the
for Hanley Hills to say, we'll do it, you know. Also, I know, I'm aware of a lot of people doing meetings by Zoom. And I don't see why we, you know, should meet down here. At Red, we can do it by Zoom. And more people can participate because they have their cell phones and they can download the app and be in the meeting, they can comment, and you can shut it down when public comments are over. The more people will be seen, you know, it's just, I think, a better way of doing this. If, would anybody want to?
I would just comment on Zoom. If you all do plan on doing that, just with my job, just knowing when we work with the school, you will have to purchase. It's free, but only up to 50 people. So if you wanted to be open to the village of Hanley Hills, you would have to buy like a certificate for more than 50 people to come onto the, 100 people to come onto the thing. But that's just something for you all to know.
That's because of Hanley Hills would be using.
Yeah, so like if you create an account and if you plan on having more than 50 to 100 participants, you have to pay after that. Because it only, for Zoom, it only allows you to have up to like 55 participants for free. And then after that, so if you wanted to open up to the whole village, you may need to purchase more.
But I'm sorry, participants would be people watching?
Yeah, so like participants, whoever, so when you go on Zoom, it's pretty much just like if you were on your iPhone and you were video chatting, every person that comes in the Zoom meeting is considered a participant. So we were all participants. So if you had more than 50, you would have to pay for more participants to come in.
How much?
I don't know. It's our school pays for it. So for us,
Do you even think that we would even have?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be more for discussion, but I thought you should know.
Do you need a camera to utilize Zoom?
So just use your phone, or you need to have a video cam on your computer. And if not, you don't need a camera because it's just gonna have. It can just because you can still have audio. You can just show a blank face. So you don't necessarily have to have a video camera.
I have my doctor's.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was just like
Can you tell me how much it would be?
yeah. I can check with my school leader tomorrow just to see like how much it is more. But that's why I thought you should know. I don't know if you would know if more people will come on, but yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, as a village, we don't get 50.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, it's up to you, but it's for our monthly meetings
So I don't think even in the comfort of their homes is, computer literate.
So you got, is that three?
Moving over here.
So we got 3 people now.
Yeah, so that's why I was like,
Oh.
it's totally up to you, but a lot of people don't know that some services have a cost.
Okay. Well, I think that's just a waste. They're doing whole conferences, meetings and everything over Zoom. And it just aids in trying to keep this up with the least amount of exposure as possible. One more thing. I have asked the village clerk about getting our board meeting, the board packets within the 4 days as in the ordinance. And we got them yesterday, and that's just,
If I could interject.
can I finish?
Oh, please, go ahead.
Thank you.
By all means.
So I'm just saying, I assume the reason they put the phone there because it's a memory thing, as well as if we get the packet and we recognize that something was misspoken or not recorded correctly, we have a chance to fix it before it's 30 days, 25 days later, and you may forget. And considering what happened with Jeff and the details of the board minutes and how they were hanging on every word, we should at least try to do it according to the ordinance and make sure that it's accurate. It's more accurate 4 days after a meeting than it will be 30 days after a meeting.
Let me acknowledge, person. Give Ms. Dorothy the floor this time.
Minutes will, I would endeavor to make them 4 days after the meeting. But it's a one-person office now, and I do believe, it wasn't yesterday, it was 2 days before the meeting, and my apologies to the board for that. But what happened with this particular case, the board meeting was June 25th. It was really the fourth, the fourth Thursday night. Then we had to go right into the third Thursday, so that came kind of quick. But with reference to Trustee Harrison and her reference to the ordinance does say 4 business days after the meeting. So in the future, I'll endeavor to do that. And if the workload is such that it cannot, I'll discuss it with the chair about it. But I will endeavor to get it in 4 days, as the ordinance says to do. But sometimes it does become very challenging to do that.
Thank you, Ms. Dorothy. Got anything else, Mrs. Harrison?
I think that's it.
Anybody have any questions for Mrs.? Next commissioner is Police Commissioner. So we voted in, we felt the vacancy with Jimmy Williams. So he'll fill the vacancy as the police commissioner. I'll get with you about the contracts and everything. It's just up to date. Okay, up to date on the police contract. We resubmitted 15 different departments. We gave them till September.
So September 7th.
To September 7th to submit their bid. That day, we will be needing to vote on a contract because our contract with St. Louis County, well, it ends October the 31st. So we get it in September. We have from September to October to meet in October to decide who we want, depending on who submit. I did throw out a number. I have a copy of the letter. Okay, that's fine. The letter that I resubmitted, sent out to the departments was I asked for a specific amount or to be under a specific amount. I'll read the letter. Due to the COVID-19 crisis and the budget constraints, its impact has caused Hanley Hills to resubmit its bid for police service. Thus, The Village of Hanley Hill is seeking bids for professional, accredited, and community active police department. We are a community of approximately 2,100 people with 9 elected officials that govern the village. We seek a police department that will be adamant on patrolling Hanley Hills 24 hours per day with a mindset of diminishing crime, but also with a mind to work hand in hand with the residents of Hanley Hills. A cost restriction has been added to the bid process. All bids are expected to come and invite you to make a bid, blah, 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 blah. We sent, like I say, we sent to 15 different departments. So that's where we are. That's where we are with police contract. You know what? I'll let you participate. You know what? At this time, let's let him take the oath.
Okay, and if you place these in a raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Yes.
I
Jimmy Williams,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Missouri
and of the state of Missouri
and of the village of Hanley Hills,
and of the village of Hanley Hills,
that I will faithfully perform
that I will faithfully perform
the duties of my
the
office,
duties of my office,
that I will not demean myself
that I will not demean myself
in office,
in office,
and that I will not knowingly
and that I will not knowingly
receive
receive
directly
directly
or
or
indirectly
indirectly
any money
any money
or other valuable thing
or the valuable things
for the performance
for the performance
or
or
non-performance
non-performance
of any act
of any act
or duty
or duty
pertaining to my office
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
Help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams, I'm gonna put you to work tonight. You read the police report.
Well, okay.
Serious crime categories: arson, rape, stealing, 1, homicide, burglary, robbery, stolen auto, assault 7, felony arrest 3, misdemeanor crime and village ordinance violations, misdemeanor arrest, 1 summons, 2 warnings, call for service, radio 150, on view 154, police force 40, officers cleared 6, felonies 4, misdemeanors 2, traffic enforcement, radar moving 2, non-moving parking, DWI, total radar surveyed 3, total time surveyed 4 hours. Incidents 6-2, shoplifting 7,900 paid at 1 p.m. Suspect stole several items in the assault, 2nd degree, Hanley, and alert at 6:50 p.m. A male suspect struck a female victim with 8 small deaths. Minor injuries were reported, thank God. The suspect was arrested and warrants will be applied for through the state prosecuting attorney office. 6-9, destruction of property, 7,900, alert, 79. It's saying the block, basically, without getting the address. Alert. At 9:54, a suspect threw a cylinder block through the victim's car windshield. The suspect fled prior to officers arriving. The case officer will be conducting the follow-up investigation. 6:10, domestic assault, the 7,500 of lower. At 8:20 p.m., a male and female got into a physical altercation and both assaulted each other with their fists. No injuries were reported. This case will be referred to the Hanley Hills prosecuting attorney for review. 6:13, assault, 7,900. 3 suspects assaulted an employee at the business. No 800 block of my road. At 12:54 a.m., two family members got into a physical altercation. Minor injuries were reported. The suspect was arrested and warrant will be applied for through the state prosecuting attorney's office. 6-9, destruction of property, the 2000 block of Raven at 2:30 a.m. A female suspect threw a rock through the front window of a resident. The suspect fled at the scene prior to officers arriving. The case officer will be conducting a follow-up investigation. 620 assault, 7700 block of Utica. At 9:17 p.m., an unknown suspect threatened the victim with a firearm. Domestic assault, 7700 Baltimore Road. At 12:44 a.m., male suspect assaulted two female victims. No injuries were reported. The suspect was arrested and issued 2 Hanley Hill summons. 6:29, domestic assault, the 2000 block of Stillwater. At 6:08 a.m., a male suspect kicked in the front door of a resident and assaulted the victim that was known to him. No injuries were reported. The department's domestic violence unit will be conducting the follow-up investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Wiggins.
Yes, sir.
And welcome aboard. Thank you.
I have a question. The follow-up investigations that there's things, that would be something that I would be,
St. Louis County.
okay, and I don't need to do anything for us to know the effect of what occurred with the residents, for us to know about that property of the future.
You can, that's up to you.
Okay.
Like usually, me being old police
Yes,
commissioner, once it was in the hands of St. Louis County,
Yes, sir.
I was done.
Done. Okay, got it.
All right. Now, the chairman's part of the board meeting. Okay, we had some amendments. The board meeting, we did the CDBG money for the streets. We have to vote on the attendees for the MML conference. I think either we made a suggestion that myself and Trustee Harrison attend the MML meeting. And that's the one that's in September.
Yeah, it's in Kansas City.
Ms. Harrison, would you like to make that motion?
I make a motion that trustee Harrison and trustee Chairman Robinson be allowed to go attend the MML meeting in September.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Can I get, all that's in the, can I get ayes?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. So myself and trustee Harrison will be attending the MML conference in Kansas City in September. Okay, so we need to get a motion for the new elected officials to attend the new elected official conference in August 6th and 7th. Can I get a motion for that?
How many?
3.
The new.
The new elected officials. So like, right now, it'll be 3 then. Can I get a motion?
What would be the most?
It's $130 for registration, $102.95 plus mileage and per diem.
Where's this?
It's in Columbia, Missouri.
Oh,
Is it
You have $6,000 for travel. And the cost of the MLL is $1,700. The cost of the Murmur Conference, the trustee you and I are going to, is $1,266. And the cost of this conference would be comparable to the $1,700 because it's $102.95 per day for the hotel for 3 people. The registration is $130 for 3 people. So it's going to be over $1,000 for the 3 of them to go. Plus, that does not include mileage, nor does it include the per diem. And neither the cost here of $1,700 for NOL includes mileage or per diem either.
Are you gonna drive your own vehicles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What was the hotel cost again? I'm sorry.
A hotel cost, will be $102 in, conference, it's in Columbia. And, so that's the newly elected officials conference.
So actually, would you need the hotel 1 day or 2 days, depending?
Well, it
Yeah, that's-
depends on, but I would say
Is it
it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning of, August 6th, so that's a,
Okay.
you know, it starts at 9 o'clock, so let's say you go for it. It starts early in the morning. So that means if you would drive, you'll be leaving kind of early, so.
We'll check in at the hotel.
Accommodate.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll probably accommodate. Let them check in early.
But don't put the MMA.
So it starts that
The
Saturday
conference
morning.
itself starts August 6th and August 7th. That's the actual time of the conference. So August 6th, that conference starts at 9 o'clock in the morning.
It's only an hour.
August 6th, August 6th.
2 hours to the
Columbia's not far at all.
Nah.
I drive.
Right. It's a nice drive.
August 6th and 7th. I think Columbia is 2 hours from here, I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Give or take.
That's the
Give or
net.
take, yeah.
It's
It starts that morning, that Thursday morning.
Mhm.
So you wanted to pay for the room for them to go down the.
Well, I'm just saying that if it starts at 9 o'clock, some people like to go before, but if it's 9 o'clock and you want to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, that's fine too. I'm just asking about leaving another day.
Look, we don't need to pay.
Okay, all
They
right,
have to leave that morning.
okay. So that's it. So we've got the Murmur Conference, we got the MLL Conference taking care of the newly elected officials conference, which will be our newly elected people of Trustee Williams, Trustee Whitworth, and Trustee Newman.
I get a motion.
Okay.
I made the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. White. All in favor, say aye. Any nays? Aye, the ayes have it. Okay, so we got a wrap. You got a question, Kevin? I'm sorry.
I had, talked to Dusty the other day about, we got all these new residents that's moving in the neighborhood. And back then, there's that something maybe we could start, find some kind of court, the board and say, thank you, welcome to the neighborhood, let them know that we.
Do we have a call right
We don't have points like that here, but that's a great idea.
Well, I never got on seven.
I think
Well,
it's a great idea.
Trustee Kevin, since you made that idea up, from the board's on you and we'll sign.
I'm just saying that, new people come on and
That's a great idea.
we're trying to change things
Yeah,
around,
that's-
board,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So, if we're gonna do change, we gotta make it not change. So, let's keep it down.
Also, we have to ratify the vote for the purchasing by the public relations for the mask and the sanitizing glove.
And it's in your packet too.
So, can I get a motion to ratify that vote?
I thought that we were getting it from, okay.
I'll make a motion to ratify the vote.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Everybody,
Uh,
any nays? Ayes have it, that vote has been ratified. And I did send text, or did you get email from Mrs. Doherty informing us that Mr. Martin did resign.
Yes.
And I did ask him to finish out the month, but he said he had made plans to be somewhere.
Today.
Yeah, today. That's why he's not here tonight. And because of that, I did reach back out to Mr. Anthony Gray. And he said, if you guys would like him, we would be honored to come back. Now, this time we have any discussion about that? Let's discuss.
I think it's a great idea. That's my discussion.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hill, since you think it's a great idea, can I get a motion from you?
I
To rehire Mr. Anthony Gray as our
motion
city
that
attorney? Can I get a second?
I second.
It's been second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it, Mr. Gray will be rehired back as our city attorney, starting back August 1st. Okay, let's go with this. Trustee Kevin did give me a list of vacant homes in the village. I was able to find, how many you said on here was 44, Kevin?
Yeah, 44.
Out of the 44, I was able to get owners' information of about, nope, 30, about 35.
Oh, that's good.
And we will be reaching out to them, sending them letters. This is my plan with the vacant house. This is just a plan, and it can be altered. I want everybody a part of this process that we're going through. These houses that have been vacant for people just walked away from, they might be worth us getting. We can tag them and get them, or we can purchase them. That's something we as a board need to decide. We can purchase them, we can rehab them, we can sell them, we can purchase them, we can rehab them, we can rent out. That's something we as a board need to be. We have for years. I've been on the board 2.5 years. When I first got on the board, we was talking about vacant houses. In 2 years from now, I don't plan on talking about vacant houses. That's part of my idea down the line. I don't want to talk about vacant houses 2 years from now.
And I have another thought. It would be nice if we can use a couple of those houses. I don't know how it would work as transitional houses. There's a lot of single women, there's a lot of homelessness. I don't know how we would do it with the, utilities or whatever, but maybe they wouldn't get charged rent. But I think we should use a couple of them as transitional houses for till somebody can get back on their feet or something.
Ms. Ivy, you haven't learned, we get happy. That's a great idea. And now that's your baby idea to run with.
Maybe to run with. That's a great idea.
It's a great idea, though.
That is an excellent idea.
Good idea. Yeah. You got a question on this? Go
For
ahead.
meanwhile, since you got a hold to the owners, what if is it on your list for high grass, or need, some type of maintenance work? What's the deal on that?
We're sending everybody.
Yeah.
Understand, process. Every yard, every property that Public Works has done anything on, the city hall needs a list of it, a record of that. So when we go through this list and say, up to here, the letter will read, it has come to our attention that your home is vacant, and we've had to do A, B, and C work on it, and this is what it's costing you. We need you to come to the city hall, talk to us, and let us know what your plans are. Or not, we will be taking legal actions against you in the property.
Are we getting any revenue from the cutting of the grass of these properties?
Yes and no. We are building these people. We're building. We're doing it because it makes our village look better. To just, but we are charging the people.
We're charging them, but we're paid.
We have not yet, because we're doing vacant houses that I just now have information on who owns them. So we will be reaching out to them now. We'll be reaching out to the owners and addressing it. Any more questions on that?
How long are we gonna give them? I mean, so if they do got like a violation, how long are you giving them? Week,
No, let's give them,
I say a week, you know,
how long do we want to give?
a week.
No, that's
Notice to
right.
get,
That's
hold
right.
up. Hold up. The board, how long do we want to give an owner notice to get in touch with the village? Now, if we just asking them to get in touch with the village, we need to give them a week or two.
Okay. The new properties that's been added on the list, yeah, but these reoccurring, no.
Recurring, that's old news, Jeff, we moving. We're gonna reach out to everybody.
But
And if we have record that shows that
Yeah, lien,
they have, if we put link, my business with liens don't guarantee you nothing. Lien don't guarantee you nothing. But if we reach out to these people and say, we've had to maintain your property, and this is what we're charging you to maintain your property, you need to contact us as soon as possible, or we will take legal action against you and your property. Which means if you don't come and talk to us in 30 days, that we're gonna have Miss Indy Gray file paperwork to take ownership of the house or the property. We all on the same page? Any more questions with that? Okay, we have been talking with Kirk Jurgens with St. Louis County Municipality about inspections and code enforcement. I found out that this service was initially a part of our contract with St. Louis County that was removed. Somebody amended it, okay? I've been talking to Mr. Kirk Jurgens about re-amending those services back to our municipality.
And put it in the police officer's hands?
No, it won't be in the police officer's hands. And I finally got a true understanding of code enforcement with St. Louis County. St. Louis County will not, even though our contract said it, because I got with Lieutenant Schaefer, we met with Lieutenant Schaefer and the captain, and I was like, our contract states that you guys are supposed to enforce our code.
Right, it's in the contract.
And they stated that we do not enforce any local ordinances. And he directed me to Kirk Jurgens, which is the municipality contract in St. Louis County, which also they enforce the code enforcement in the property problems unit. Those services was removed from our contract for some reason unknown. I've been talking back to him about getting them back, and right now we're in negotiation, we're talking. He sent me the man back, running across the board, because we get charged as we use them. So if we have to call the code enforcer out to enforce a code, to write a summons, they charge, I think it's $47 per hour. Any questions about that?
We need that. We need it.
Yes, and it's only on an as-needed basis.
Right.
So when we call them, they will come. They just won't come out.
well, did we have a chance, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
did we have a chance to look at the, Mr. Lawrence that's already,
He's part of them.
oh, he's part of them?
That's what he worked for.
Oh, did you say Ms. Lawrence, or you just using, okay, I didn't hear you. say
I'll talk to his boss. I've been talking to Lauren's boss.
Okay. So you're saying, we would call them
As needed.
as needed to see,
No, not
okay,
to see, to come out and write tickets. If there is a violation or violations, if we got 4 or 5 houses that got violations, we would call them and say, I got this house with this violation. They would send a person out and he would issue the summons.
so I guess who gives them the violation?
They come through us,
Okay.
through the city hall.
Okay.
Through the city hall. I don't want 7 or 8 different trustees calling them. We bring it to the city hall, and I told them, I'm throwing a lot on Miss Dorothy. We'll let Miss Dorothy reach out to them.
Good.
All
That's
right.
the name, next month.
Mr. Wood,
At $47 an hour, I guess, official to call them out with so many violations.
yes.
Versus one violation that would cost us $47, which
Yep.
10 violations we still probably get.
Yep.
Depending on their timeline, as long as they don't drag their feet.
Yep.
Within a 2-hour span, maybe.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you see violations and you got 6 or 7 violations, we ain't gonna call them out for just one. No, we ain't gonna call them out. Call them out for 4, 5, 6. And I mean, we can set a number. As a board, we can set a number. You got 5 violations, we call them.
Should we wait until we get so many before we even consider calling them?
Yes.
At least,
Yeah.
at least how many should we?
What you wanna vote on? 5, 10?
And he's talking about each one of us. See something, you know this now, right?
I know, but my thing is, we don't want them coming out doing 12 places with violations. What I'm saying is, how many violations will it take for us before we call them? 4, 5, 6, before we call out?
Let's make a number. Let's say 5.
I say 5.
If Ms. Dorothy give, y'all come in with 5 violations from
Then
different
we'll call
places or whatever,
them.
we reach out to them and say, hey, we got this house, this house, this house, this house, this house. Violations. Could you come out?
You're like 5 separate.
Right.
Yeah, 5, 7.
And then I thought about, maybe we need to see how much it's gonna cost us for a certain amount before we set. 6 violations, how long is it gonna take them to do that?
Right.
Or as opposed to 4 violations, how long will it take them to do it? But like I say, they can drag their foot.
And I have the contract and amendment right here, and I have not signed it yet. I wanted to discuss it with you guys before and that's a good point to bring up when I talk to them next time. Yes, Ms. White.
I think that the person that's responsible for writing up the violation in the first place needs to be a part of that. And you can tell because you're there while they're checking. And usually, it only takes 20 minutes, usually, unless it's more than 1 or 2 things involved. And that would say,
Oh,
because I know how
okay.
people are.
So you saying if Ms. Ivory have a violation, she should be the one who write it
That's
up?
right. Yeah, and that would say, and time on time and what they do and everything else, yeah.
And another that
No, go ahead.
I looked into was getting it's just an idea that I about getting our building inspector certified to be our code enforcer. I talked to Raina Spencer with Beyond Housing when they was doing all the code enforcement training and all that type of stuff. I reached out to her to see what would we need to do to get our person or get somebody certified to be a code enforcer in our buildings. And like I said, this is just my ideal and it can be altered. I'm not perfect. I just have ideas. All right, Ms. White. My idea was this. If we can get our building inspector, our building commissioner certified to be our code enforcer. I think that would be a great idea. And with that certification, that is a certification wide. So, and this will be something that I would like to carry out for building inspectors to come.
So classes would have to be taken for this person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I have a
We
question.
gotta see how much it is.
Will that be a conflict of interest or not? Because you're talking about, a person being a trustee and then being an employee too. Because that's.
He wouldn't be a employee, he'd still be a
The
commissioner.
way it's written up in our books,
We
they're
can
on
change
this book, it is, so
We can change it.
that's what you need to learn.
And we will change it.
Yeah.
We will change it. That would be the building commissioner, that would be part of the building commissioner's job. We can change
the
That would even
building
alleviate.
commissioner slash
Code
code
enforcement.
enforcement.
And with that, I say because it is a certification, the building inspector would get more compensation. Because it is a certification that he can carry, or she can carry along with them. That's just another idea. Another idea.
That's what
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff. And then,
What is a violation that you would have to look for to call to make sure that it is a violation? What kind of violation are you looking at? We got hacked grass, we got guttering, we got handrails, that porch need to be painted. What kind of violation are you talking about?
well, I'll tell you. I will say this, as a board, we need to have a meeting and we need to discuss it. We need to put down, we need to make a list on what we will call the code enforcement home.
You got a book that you can look at and get out of that. Already, we already have your ordinance book. We don't have the revised stuff in the book that they've done over since in the past 10 years. But, that should, like we all know about the 8-inch grass.
So I'll say this. Look in your ordinance book,
Yeah.
find all the violations, let's put a list together as a board.
They can go online, I guess, and do that.
You can go online and do it.
That's in one already.
Go ahead, Jeff.
There was a video we looked at one time, Mr. Arden, about code enforcing.
It wasn't here, Jen.
Yes, it was. It was right there in that room.
You mean like a webinar?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but that's not the same as the certification he's talking about. When Raina did this with Beyond Housing, Hanley Hills rejected it. There is an organization that certifies code enforcement officers,
Right.
code enforcement duty. It's
Right.
a certification that comes from the state. And they take a class, and Beyond Housing was given the class at an economical rate because it had 24/1 and everybody was involved in it. And so they took the class and they were certified in it and accepted by the state of Missouri. And if you look at a lot of code enforcement officers, stats and their credentials, they have their certification on there. So it's not like a webinar explaining to you that this is a violation and that's a violation and that's a code. This is an actual class where you go and come out with a certification. And Beyond Housing was offering that last year for 24/1.
So we will be receiving, I talked to Raina Spencer and she will be sending us information on that. I have I got two more things. And because of our budget and we're decided to eliminate our courts, I did reach out to St. Ian court administrator, spoke with her, and she explained a few things to me about if we wanted to merge court with St. Anne, which is, I forgot what 5, Northwoods, Delta City, St. Anne, Charlotte, and it was one more. It was five of them that they pulled court for.
They might be Sycamore.
Okay, and the thing is our contract would be based on the amount of revenue we generate. So basically, I told her, I gave her the numbers. I said, this is what we plan out. This is the revenue we bought in the last year. She said, yeah, contract won't be nothing. Those was her words. So I'm waiting for the city manager to contact me back so I can meet with him and discuss the arrangements of a contract. I got one more thing. This is a letter that I was sending out to the residents on behalf of the board. Dear residents, trustees of the Village of Hanley Hills, on June 25th, 2020, we reset the Board of Trustees to include its newly elected and re-elected members. We have a new beginning and a brand new vision, approach and methodology with respect to the operation of the village. Due to the COVID-19 worldwide pandemic and the negative impact it has on the budget of Hanley Hills, budget cuts have been made the village will still operate in its full capacity, providing services to you, its residents, and its most valued assets. The following cuts were made: trustees' salaries, I ain't gonna say what it is. The courts that cost $85,000 to operate and bring in revenue of $13,000, yielding a deficit of $72,000. Through Hanley Hills will maintain its court but will merge with another municipality. Through this move, not only will Hanley Hills eliminate a $72,000 deficit, but it also will obtain revenue from the merger. Additionally, due to budget constraints, 2 Hanley Hill employment positions were cut, but not dismayed. There are great plans ahead for Hanley Hills as we come together and grow in the future. As John F. Kennedy once said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. With that in mind, input on improving this village and fulfilling its great potential need. If you have any ideas regarding the village future and or concerns, please send them in writing to City Hall, 7713 Utica Drive, Hanley Hills, Missouri 63133. With you guys' approval, I would like to send this out on behalf of the board. Can I get a motion?
I move that we send your letter out to the community.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any nays?
Like,
Be simple.
Seriously, you cut everything except one person.
The ayes, huh?
Well, we didn't have this discussion.
Let's discuss. What we need to discuss. All the cuts that we made, we did through the budget. And we agreed on the budget. So what else?
That doesn't mean we can't save more money.
That's true.
But I'm just saying, to be fair, you cut everybody's salary, you cut people's hours, days, and everything, but you didn't cut the village clerk.
And I didn't cut the village clerk in reference to the financial officer. He stated that she needed to be here 5 days a week. That was the financial officer. That's who recommendation we was going off of. Now, and we said that we was gonna look into it, and if we needed to down the line, that we would change it, we would cut it, we would shut down on Friday. And just have it work 4 days a week. And see if it works. If it don't work in a month or two, then we can move to change the city clerk hours also.
At the end of the year, then we'll be good. Enough time to come back and visit it again.
Any other discussions? I mean,
What are you trying to see if what works?
Her being here 5 days with the village itself being closed on Friday, but she still works to get things done.
Is it too
You
much?
got 9 people that you have to listen to and do work for. That's a lot, and answer the phone and deal with the people that still come in. That's not work. Have you ever done that before? I have. It would drive you crazy. And you still have to be courteous to people. So yeah, that's what I thought. I still want to do it. Just like having
Yes, ma'am.
pretty babies at home. Too much work. The mother, that's why they go crazy. They get great.
anything else?
That's right.
Any more discussion?
No, I mean,
We have next on the agenda that concludes my report. You got a question, Jeff?
Yes, I would like to discuss, again, everybody is doing a great job, again. And, this month, the chairman did a lot of work with both positions. So I think we should, but this is just my idea and you discuss it, that he should, in our ordinance book, if you do 2 positions, you get
2 checks.
pay, just a little bit more, and I just don't wanna open it up, like this, because everybody said, well, I do more to do more, but, with the contracts and with everything else, I think the chairman has shown himself to, do good.
But he's only been on there for a month.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, and with the village clerk thing, I think we need to play it out
Yes, ma'am.
with the COVID going on and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
else. You are doing a great job, but
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
only there.
You're right. Yeah, that's why I just wanted
If
to
we cutting, let's stay cutting.
Oh, okay.
Find out.
And you know what, it's fair. I've done this job and had 2 positions at the same time, and never got any money.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So, it's no big deal,
Yeah.
And just like what I do now, if I see something that's not in my
Let's,
category, I would still address it. I would go to the other person and let them know that I won't try to take it over, but I would let them know.
Yeah.
and I appreciate that, Jeff.
Yes,
I
sir.
really do.
Mhm.
I really do. And if the board don't approve it, that's fine with me. I'm gonna do what I do, no matter what, hey.
But I just threw it out there because
And,
But then you're doing 2 jobs, you want 2 checks?
no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
We might have to take this second.
But that's what it's all about, just discussion, I open it up, so,
But, I mean, you
I-
just done a good job.
Yes.
It's only been a month.
yes.
Let's see this as with the building budget.
I'm tired.
We're now in a COVID situation.
You're right, yes.
And we're not really getting money we should. So
Right.
if our budget got, if ours
You're right.
got cut, we can't be giving the cut to,
Exactly, because he would,
not the personal. But I'm just saying.
You just have to sacrifice.
It just mean I can't drink no coffee in the morning, that's all.
But Rick,
Uh,
one cup out of the bag.
Next on the agenda is the court clerk. Any court clerk? Probably not. Courts are closed. Courts are still shut down. I mean, I did talk to, clerk, and I let her know what direction we was going in with the courts, and I told her that I would inform her on every move. I won't leave her out there blind without a position. Village clerk?
Okay, just real quickly, believe it or not, they are coming up with the HEROES Act. Representative Clay was on the phone, and Pat Kelly and others, and he sent this email that I put in your packet. They are doing another one, and it has not been finalized, but this one will include money for the municipalities for lost revenue. I would advise everybody to look at that, because if you look at one page, it tells you how many billions of dollars the state of Missouri will get. But it also gives you what each municipality will get. And so I printed out Hanley Hill. That's what this is. It's an email from Pat Kelly. And if you look at this page right here, it says Hanley Hills in 2020, the patient would be $691,838.
Yeah, we need all that.
And 2021 will be $345,919. Now, here's the catch. They go back in session next week. It's not approved. It has to be approved by the Senate. So we don't know what it's going to end up looking like. But we don't know what it'll end up looking like, but it is what they are proposing. Because last time, it did not include any money for loss of revenue for the municipalities. Now, as Pat Kelly and I were talking, he said, here's the caveat. They keep printing out this money, they keep giving out these checks. It's gonna have to be paid back.
Wow,
And so something is gonna get raised down the road, like income taxes or something,
wow,
because they gotta pay the money back.
wow.
But for right now, this is what they're proposing. And we don't know we kind of do know what the Senate gonna do when it hits the Senate, because they, Mitch McConnell hasn't been to, and then they're trying to get it where you get another $1,200 stimulus check. If you have dependents, they want to give you $1,200 for each dependent, up to $6,000. And they're looking at trying to extend extend the unemployment benefit where you got that extra $600. But now this is all what they're proposing.
That doesn't mean that's what's going on.
I know.
When it hits the Senate and come out of the Senate, we don't know what it'll look like. But Trump is saying that he's willing to do some more checks, but we don't know this. We don't know how this will be chopped up in, but this is what they're proposing for right now. So just wanted to make you aware of that. And that is.
Any old business? New business? Ordinance or resolutions? Somebody with? Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Okay, wait, hold on. Do we sign these things before you adjourn or after?
That we good, that we do now.
Okay.
But you can sound them before.
Yeah, they be saying.
You can sound them before. You can sound them before.
So we never got any higher than three.
No, ma'am. Yeah, so that's why I say y'all should probably have to pay, you know.